What happens when one of Hollywood's most beloved comedians walks into what should have been a routine morning talk show appearance, only to find himself face to face with a host who seems determined to tear him down on live television? Well, you're about to find out exactly how explosive things can get when egos clash and cameras are rolling. This is the story of Adam Sandler's appearance on The View that had everyone talking, and trust me, you won't believe how this unfolds. But before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below because this story is going to take some wild turns. It was supposed to be just another promotional stop for Adam Sandler. His latest Netflix comedy had just dropped, and his publicist had arranged the usual round of talk show appearances. The View seemed like an easy win, a chance to chat with the ladies, crack some jokes, and plug the movie to their massive daytime audience. What could go wrong, right? Adam walked onto the set that morning with his trademark laid-back energy, wearing his usual casual outfit, a simple polo shirt and jeans. The audience gave him a warm welcome as he took his seat at the famous table. Whoopi Goldberg offered the standard pleasantries, and everything seemed normal until Joy Behar leaned forward with that look in her eyes, the one that regular viewers know all too well. "So, Adam," Joy began, her voice carrying a tone that immediately put everyone on edge, "I have to ask you about something that's been bothering me for years." Adam shifted slightly in his chair, still smiling but clearly sensing the change in atmosphere. "Uh-oh. What did I do now?" "It's not what you did, it's what you continue to do," Joy replied, her words sharp enough to cut glass. "Don't you think it's time you started making movies for adults, instead of these juvenile comedies that appeal to 12-year-old boys?" The other hosts exchanged glances. This wasn't the usual light-hearted banter they had planned for the segment. Whoopi tried to jump in with a laugh. "Well, I think Adam's movies are fun for the whole family." But Joy wasn't having it. She turned to Whoopi with a dismissive wave. "Come on, Whoopi. We're talking about a grown man who built his entire career on bathroom humor and silly voices. When is enough enough?" Adam's smile faltered for just a moment before he composed himself. Years of dealing with critics had taught him how to handle hostile interviews. But this felt different. This felt personal. "You know, Joy," Adam said, his voice still friendly but with an edge creeping in, "I've been making movies for over 20 years, and I'm pretty proud of the fact that they make people laugh. Isn't that what comedy is supposed to do? But at what cost?" Joy shot back, leaning forward aggressively. "You've made millions dumbing down entertainment. Don't you feel any responsibility to use your platform for something more meaningful?" The tension in the studio was palpable now. Camera operators were getting excited, knowing they were capturing something special. The other hosts, Sarah Haynes, Sunny Hostin, and Alyssa Farah Griffin, all looked uncomfortable as they watched their colleague tear into their guest. Adam took a deep breath, and those who knew him well could see the shift happening. The easygoing comedian was being replaced by someone who wasn't going to take this lying down. "Meaningful?" Adam repeated, his voice rising slightly. "You want to talk about meaningful? I've provided jobs for thousands of people over the years. I've made movies that bring families together. I've created characters that kids quote for decades. That sounds pretty meaningful to me." Joy scoffed, actually scoffed on live television. "Oh, please, spare me the humanitarian act. You make lowbrow garbage, and you know it. The only reason Netflix keeps giving you money is because your movies are cheap to make and people will watch anything." That was the moment everything changed. You could see it in Adam's eyes, the exact second when his patience ran out. The studio audience was dead silent, sensing they were witnessing something unprecedented. "You know what, Joy?" Adam said, his voice now carrying a steel that surprised everyone, including himself. "I've been sitting here for 5 minutes listening to you attack my career, my choices, and basically everything I've worked for my entire life. And I have to wonder, what exactly is your problem with me?" Joy's eyes lit up with the thrill of confrontation. She had drawn blood, and she knew it. "My problem is that you represent everything that's wrong with Hollywood. You take the easy way out, you pander to the lowest common denominator, and you act like it's some kind of art form. And you think sitting behind this desk taking shots at people makes you better than me?" Adam fired back, his voice getting louder. "At least when I make people laugh." I'm not tearing someone else down to do it. The other hosts were frantically trying to figure out how to salvage the situation. Whoopi attempted to steer the conversation back to safer ground. Maybe we should talk about your new movie. But Joy wasn't done. Not even close. Actually, let's talk about the new movie. It's just another rehash of the same formula, isn't it? Put Adam in a ridiculous situation, surround him with his buddies, throw in some slapstick, and call it a day. Adam stood up from his chair, something that had never happened in the show's history during an interview. The camera zoomed in, capturing every detail of his face as he processed what was happening. You haven't even seen the movie, he said, his voice now carrying a dangerous calm. You're sitting here attacking something you know nothing about, just like you attack everything else that doesn't fit into your narrow little worldview. Joy's face flushed red. She had expected Adam to take the abuse like every other celebrity who came on the show. To laugh it off and play along. His pushback was making her look bad, and she didn't like it one bit. I don't need to see it, she snapped. I've seen enough of your movies to know exactly what this one is going to be. Predictable, childish, and forgettable. The studio fell into an eerie silence. Adam looked around the table at the other hosts, then out at the audience, then directly into the camera. When he spoke again, his words were measured and deliberate. Ladies and gentlemen, he said, addressing the viewers at home. This is what passes for journalism in daytime television. A host who admits she hasn't seen the work she's criticizing, attacking a guest for the crime of making people happy. Joy's face went from red to purple. Being called out on her own show, in front of her audience, was not something she was prepared to handle gracefully. She slammed her hand down on the table with such force that it made everyone jump. How dare you lecture me about journalism, she snarled, pointing her finger directly at Adam. I've been in this business longer than you've been making your little boy movies. I don't need to watch garbage to know it's garbage. Adam laughed, but it wasn't his usual warm chuckle. This was something darker, more cutting. Wow, Joy. You just proved my point better than I ever could. You literally just said you judge things without experiencing them. That's not journalism. That's prejudice. The other hosts were in full panic mode now. Sonny Hostin tried to jump in with a nervous laugh. Maybe we should take a commercial break. No. Joy snapped, not taking her eyes off Adam. We're going to finish this conversation. I'm tired of celebrities coming on here thinking they can charm their way through serious questions. Serious questions? Adam's voice cracked with disbelief. You call personal attacks serious questions? Here's a serious question for you, Joy. When was the last time you created something that brought joy to millions of people instead of just sitting here tearing other people down? The studio audience was completely silent now, but you could feel the energy in the room. Some were clearly Team Adam. Others seemed shocked by the unprecedented nature of what they were witnessing. The camera operators were having a field day, switching between close-ups of both combatants. Joy stood up now too, matching Adam's energy. I inform people. I ask the hard questions that nobody else will ask. I hold celebrities accountable for the garbage they put out into the world. Accountable? Adam's voice rose to match hers. For what? For making people laugh? For giving them an escape from whatever problems they're dealing with? You want to hold me accountable for bringing happiness into people's lives? I want to hold you accountable for lowering the bar. Joy shot back, her voice getting shriller with each word. Every mindless comedy you make gives studios an excuse to greenlight 10 more just like it. You've turned Hollywood into a wasteland of stupidity. Whoopi made another desperate attempt to regain control. Okay, let's all just take a breath here. But Adam was done taking breaths. You know what's really stupid, Joy? Attacking someone's life work on live television without having the basic courtesy to actually know what you're talking about. You want to know what's in my new movie? It's about a guy who loses his job and has to figure out how to support his family. It's about resilience. It's about family. It's about not giving up when life gets hard. But you already decided it was garbage because my name is on it. Joy's laugh was bitter and harsh. Oh, please, don't try to dress up your slapstick as some kind of profound statement about the human condition. We all know what an Adam Sandler movie really is. Do we? Adam challenged. Because it sounds like you've made up your mind about me and my work without ever really paying attention. That's not journalism, Joy. That's just lazy. The word lazy hit Joy like a slap. Her entire career had been built on being the tough interviewer, the one who wasn't afraid to ask difficult questions. Being called lazy by someone she considered beneath her was more than she could handle. Lazy? She screamed, and yes, she actually screamed on live television. I've been asking tough questions since before you were relevant. I've interviewed presidents, world leaders, Nobel Prize winners, and you're going to sit there and call me lazy? Adam's response was devastating in its simplicity. When was the last time you prepared for an interview, instead of just deciding to attack your guest? The question hung in the air like smoke. Even Joy's biggest supporters couldn't deny that she had walked into this interview with no real preparation, just an agenda to tear Adam down. The other hosts were looking anywhere but at their colleague, clearly uncomfortable with how badly this was going for her. Joy's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. You arrogant little man. You think because you make millions playing dress-up that you can come on my show and disrespect me? Your show? Adam's eyebrows shot up. I thought this was The View, not the Joy Behar Hour. Are we supposed to pretend you speak for everyone here? For the first time, Sarah Haynes found her voice. Actually, Joy, maybe we should hear what Adam has to say about his creative process. Joy whipped around to face Sarah with such fury that the younger host actually recoiled. Don't you dare take his side against me. I'm not taking anyone's side, Sarah stammered. I just think we should let our guest speak. Our guest, Joy said the words like they tasted bad, came here to promote his movie, and I'm giving him exactly what he deserves. Honest criticism. Honest criticism. Adam shook his head slowly. This isn't honest criticism, Joy. This is a hit job. You decided before I walked in here that you were going to tear me apart, and when I didn't just sit there and take it, you got mad. I got mad because you're everything that's wrong with entertainment today? Joy fired back. You're proof that talent doesn't matter anymore. That you can coast on mediocrity and still become rich and famous. The insult was so blatant, so personal, that even Whoopi couldn't stay neutral anymore. Joy, that's enough. But Joy was beyond reason now. No, it's not enough. Someone needs to say what everyone in this industry is thinking. Adam Sandler is a hack who got lucky and has been riding that luck for 2 decades. The studio went dead silent. You could hear the cameras clicking, the sound technicians adjusting their equipment, but not a single human voice. Adam stared at Joy for what felt like an eternity, and when he finally spoke, his voice was quiet but filled with steel. You know what, Joy? You're right about one thing. Someone does need to say what everyone is thinking. So here it is. You're a bitter, mean-spirited person who gets off on making other people feel small. You hide behind the pretense of journalism. But really, you're just a bully with a microphone. Joy's mouth fell open. In all her years of hosting, no guest had ever spoken to her like this. How dare you? How dare I what? Tell the truth? Fight back when you attack me? You can dish it out, but you can't take it? Is that it? The studio erupted into chaos. Joy's face was contorted with rage as she stepped closer to Adam, her finger jabbing the air between them. You don't get to come on my show and call me a bully. I'm holding you accountable for your mediocrity. Your show again, Adam said, his voice eerily calm now. It's interesting how you keep saying that when there are 4 other women sitting at this table. Do they get a say in how their show is run, or is this really just the Joy Behar power trip hour? Sunny Hostin finally found her courage. Joy, maybe we should move on to something else. Joy spun around to face Sunny with such venom that the lawyer visibly flinched. Don't you dare undermine me in front of this guest. I'm not undermining you, Sunny replied, her voice shaking slightly. I'm trying to save this interview before it gets completely out of hand. It's already out of hand, Alyssa Farrah Griffin whispered. But her microphone picked it up. Joy heard it, and her rage found a new target. Excuse me? Did you have something to say, Alyssa? Adam watched this unfold with a mixture of disgust and fascination. Wow, Joy. You're really going to attack your own co-hosts now? Is there anyone in this building you're not mad at today? I'm mad at you, Joy snarled, turning back to face him. I'm mad that talentless hacks like you get to make millions while real artists struggle for recognition. Real artists? Adam's laugh was incredulous. Let me ask you something, Joy. When was the last time you created anything? When was the last time you wrote something, performed something, built something from nothing? All you do is tear down what other people create. Joy's voice rose to a near shriek. I don't need to create garbage to recognize garbage when I see it. But you do need to actually see it, Adam shot back. You admitted you haven't watched my new movie. You're attacking something you know nothing about based on your own prejudices. That's not criticism, that's just ignorance. The word ignorance was the final straw. Joy completely lost whatever composure she had left. Get out, she screamed, pointing toward the exit. Get out of my studio right now. Adam looked around the table at the other hosts, all of whom looked mortified by their colleagues' behavior. Your studio? I thought this was ABC's studio. Get out, get out, get out, Joy kept screaming, her voice becoming more unhinged with each repetition. Whoopi stood up, clearly trying to take control of the situation. Joy, you need to calm down right now. Don't tell me to calm down. Joy spun on Whoopi with such fury that even the veteran host took a step back. He came on here and disrespected me. And I'm not going to stand for it. Adam's voice cut through the chaos like a knife. I disrespected you? You spent the entire interview attacking my career, my choices, my character, and I'm the one who's disrespectful? You're completely delusional. Security, Joy shouted toward the wings. Get security in here right now. The audience was in complete shock. Some were pulling out their phones, others were just staring with their mouths open. This was unlike anything that had ever happened on daytime television. Adam shook his head slowly, a sad smile crossing his face. You know what, Joy? I actually feel sorry for you. You're so consumed with hate and bitterness that you can't even have a normal conversation with someone without turning it into a personal attack. Don't you dare pity me. Joy's voice cracked as she spoke. I don't need pity from someone like you. Someone like me? Adam repeated. You mean someone who's built a career making people happy instead of tearing them down? Yeah. I guess we are different that way. Security personnel were now moving toward the set, but they seemed unsure of what exactly they were supposed to do. The situation was unprecedented. Sarah Haynes made one last desperate attempt to salvage something from the wreckage. Maybe we could all just take a step back and remember that we're on live television. Joy's laugh was bitter and harsh. Oh, I know exactly where we are. We're on television where this hack gets to promote his latest piece of garbage while pretending to be the victim. Adam looked directly into the camera, speaking to the viewers at home. Ladies and gentlemen, you're witnessing what happens when someone's ego becomes more important than professionalism, when personal hatred overrides basic courtesy. Don't you dare turn this around on me, Joy screamed. You're the one who came in here with an attitude. I came in here to talk about my movie, Adam replied calmly. You're the one who decided to make it personal from the very first question. Whoopi finally stepped between them, her voice commanding. Both of you need to stop this right now. This is completely unprofessional. Joy turned on Whoopi with the same venom she had shown everyone else. He started it by refusing to answer my legitimate questions. Legitimate questions? Adam's voice rose again. You called my life's work garbage before I said a single word about the movie. How is that legitimate? The security team finally reached the set, but they still seemed uncertain about their role in this unprecedented situation. One of them approached the show's producer, who was standing in the wings, looking absolutely panicked. Adam looked around the chaos, at Joy's red face, at the uncomfortable hosts, at the shocked audience, and made his decision. You know what? You're right about one thing, Joy. I should leave. Not because you're kicking me out, but because I have better things to do than stand here and be verbally abused by someone who's clearly having some kind of breakdown. Breakdown? Joy's voice hit a pitch that was almost inhuman. I'm having a breakdown? You're the one who can't handle honest criticism. Adam was already walking toward the exit, but he turned back one last time. Honest criticism requires honesty, Joy. All you've shown today is hate. As Adam reached the edge of the set, Joy shouted after him, her voice echoing through the studio. Run away, just like all your characters do when things get tough. Adam stopped and slowly turned around, his face serious. My characters don't run away, Joy. They face their problems head-on and find a way to laugh through them. Maybe you should try that sometime instead of spreading misery wherever you go. And with that, Adam Sandler walked off the View set, leaving behind a studio in complete chaos, co-hosts in shock, and Joy Behar standing alone, still screaming at his retreating figure. The camera held on Joy for a long moment, capturing her rage-filled face as she realized what had just happened. She had not only lost control of the interview, she had lost control of herself, and millions of people had watched it happen live. So there you have it, the most explosive talk show moment in television history. What started as a routine promotional interview turned into a battle of wills that ended with one of Hollywood's biggest stars walking off set while a veteran host completely melted down on live television. Make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this one, and drop a comment below. What do you think? Was Adam right to walk away? Or should he have stayed and continued fighting back?